The Volunteer Award of Honor is given to an individual, an unpaid individual, who contributes his time and talents to the hospital. J.C. Blair, through the years and now, has been blessed with many individuals who fit this criteria. Our honoree this year was chosen because of his long-standing dedication to the hospital, his care and passion for making sure that the hospital remains a viable part of the Huntington County community. The individual who is chosen this year has outstanding leadership skills, and he is definitely a people person. One of the things that jumped out at me as I served on the board with him was that he was always available to the personnel at the hospital. He knew how things worked. He knew the department heads, and he knew the people that worked in the hospital at all levels. And he always had a smile on his face and was willing to listen. I think that it's important because the trust that is built between an administrative team and the personnel at the hospital is vitally important to the success of the institution. Our honoree this year is John Kunz.
It's a complete, total honor. I count it as a privilege to have served the institution, and it's a privilege to be recognized by your group, the auxiliary group, and other members of the hospital. So it leaves you with kind of a warm feeling in your heart, and you know that you have, I think, done as much as you could to help a little community and bring in medical services, relate to people, talk to people, help people be healed. This is sort of it's a heartwarming recognition.
John has served for 38 years on the board. I found that he was far thinking in that he diversified the board of directors years ago. He is a well-read individual, and he always encouraged us to take advantage of the educational opportunities which presented themselves. He was instrumental in recruiting outstanding physicians to the staff at the hospital.
In the recruiting itself, this took a lot of time. First, you had to find out what you needed. You had to contact medical schools, try recruiters, try native sons and daughters, of course. And it was slow going. By the end of the 90s, we probably had a staff of 50 to 55. And I recall one of my good friends at Hershey, Dr. Berlin, you may recall him, said, if you start to get physicians like that, 5 or 7 maybe a year, you are going to have to raise money to build services, spaces, and so forth. And golly, he was right. There were 2 capital campaigns, both of which were for additional construction for the plant. The first campaign my father started, and he was out of the country at the time, so I finished it up. And then the second was a major campaign, and we got about $1,274,000, if I remember the figure correctly. And those were county-wide efforts, and a lot of doing.
I can only say that I think this award is well-deserved, and thank you so much, John, for all your years of dedicated service.